Now, talking about that whole I don't talk about things unless I'm super well schooled and very intelligent and, know lots of stuff about them, some of you may have seen videos going around of me talking about Ashes of Pantheon, Rise of the Creation Fallen. And I think I need to clarify my stance on this, because clearly I am a knowledgeable individual and I know a lot about those games that are definitely the same game that I didn't just confuse when I was building some Hellblasters and making some Warhammer. So here's what happens. Someone asked my opinion about Ashes of Creation, and I answered assuming that what I was actually talking about was Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, because those two games pretty much just got muddled up in my own head. One of them, of course, is an MMO that hasn't come out yet, and the other one is an MMO that hasn't come out yet that promises to be really good. The main issue that I find talking about these games is, one, I don't really care about the development process. I know that sounds really weird to say. You love the genre, why don't you care about the development process? It's because in the development process, anyone can say anything. And you can show something that looks really good in a vacuum that may not translate to being a good MMORPG or a sustainable MMORPG or even one that grabs people's attention and then holds it for a long time. I'm kind of burnt out of following the development of any MMORPG when a lot of the development cycles for games that haven't come out yet they follow very similar story beats. As in, they promise something massive, maybe it'll be a huge world, maybe it'll be a new combat system, maybe it's a new magic system, or they promise something that's going to be super duper old, and then what you get isn't always like the promises. I'm honestly just bored of trying to critique development when there's very little there to critique, because you can say whatever the hell you want when it is in development. That's not a difficult thing to do. So yeah, I got the Ashes of Creation thing wrong, because Ashes of Creation apparently is the real one that's definitely going to be a really good game for realsies we promise, and then Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is one that is not actually a real game, but we promised it was going to be good, but now it isn't. So yeah, I pretty much just don't know enough about Ashes or Pantheon to speak as an authority on either of them, and I don't really have any interest in keeping up with the development of either of them, because whatever they say will happen now may not happen. It might not. I am much more interested in waiting for the game to release and actually playing something that they've got. That's going to be cool. As soon as it does, that happens, sweet. I'll be straight on there, no problem at all. Until then, let's go back and play some old games. Have I seen Narcs' video? I've been told about Narcs' video. I know that I was wrong about something that I said to do with Ashes of Creation. And the reason I was wrong about the Ashes of Creation video was because I was getting it mixed up with Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, which I was then getting mixed up with every other MMORPG that is in development and talks about what it's going to have but doesn't actually exist yet. So I want it to be good. I do want the games to be good, but I try not to get caught up in the hype of development, because consider this. If I got caught up in the hype of every single MMO that was in development, I would do nothing other than just get caught up in hype all the time. This is why there are so many MMOs being made by so many companies and so many people talking about making so many things that I have to step back and say, you know what, I'll play your game when it releases. I'm super excited, I'm looking forward to it, I want it to be good, I'll play it when it releases. I was reading a lot of comments on people on videos about people responding to me being completely wrong about Ashes of Creation. And I hope I am. I hope Ashes of Creation is brilliant and badass, but I am quite jaded when it comes to MMOs in development, because they change from development to release, and sometimes they stay in development for so bloody long they don't release, and I want it to be a good game. But someone was saying in the comments that they were like, stupid Josh fans only enjoying the games he enjoys. And I'm thinking, that's wrong, because if they only enjoyed the games I enjoy, we'd all be playing Neverwinter, and it would be great. I don't want any of you to blindly agree with me. I actually want people to call me out when I'm wrong. That keeps me humble and keeps me way better. There were people comparing Pantheon positively against Ashes of Creation. There are people who will tell you Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is going to be the next big MMORPG in just the same way that there are people telling you Ashes of Creation will be it. In just the same way there were people telling you that New World will be it. It's very, very hard to get caught up in the hype of everything. People are so desperate for a new thing that as soon as someone promises them a new thing, they get caught up in it. Please, feel free to take a step back. You don't always need to be caught up in the hype for something. I'm excited. It's not that I'm not excited for these things happening. It's that I'm not believing the hype until they give me something.